Welcome to all of the things that I haven't told you, including why I have two of these, what these are, and how this looks to save me up to £4,000. So we are a fair way through the new transporter build and it is progressing nicely, but there seems to be this ever-growing list of things that I haven't yet shared with you guys. So today we have a right random bunch of things that I want to share with you because some of them are vital when it comes to doing your own camper van conversion. Starting with why I haven't shared any information about that new bullbar. Loads of people asking in the comments, have I missed a video? You haven't. That bullbar and the side protective sill bars that you've probably noticed, they belong to a larger video that include some rear tailgate apparatus that I look to fit. But we've been unable to fit that up to now because I had the tailgate issues. And that is another question answered. Has the tailgate been rectified by Volkswagen? And yes, it has. This now opens and closes probably like it should. Sounds like a Golf. This panel gap is now a lot better. A lovely bit of clearance at the bottom, which now allows me to go ahead and start drilling holes in the tailgate and doing my upgrades, which ironically mean immediately upgrading them rear gas struts. For the next subject, I need to take you back to the beginning, and that is when I first realised that I was going to get the new transporter. I did that thing like I was a 19-year-old boy. I phoned my insurance company to see if they would even insure me. Do you remember a time where you would have to literally check to see if you would get insured because you were always trying to insure something way above your maturity status? So I phoned Howdens, who are my insurance provider, and I gave a registration forward. They said they would insure it, absolutely no problems. As a camper, I have insured this as projecting forward that it will be a camper van. I am no longer plumbing, so the commercial side of it was dropped. I let them know that I would do this YouTube thing and I might go to shows and I might carry tables, all of that, fully legit. Told them about everything, absolutely fine. £750 a year, which is great because this has a book price, believe it or not, of over £50,000. One condition, and this you will probably find with any decent insurance provider, was that I had an S5 tracker fitted. So I did. I had 30 days to provide a certificate to say that I have successfully had an S5 tracker fitted. I did so. I went to a lovely gentleman called Tim from Trilogy down in Duckingfield. He was recommended by Ape Adventure Vans. What a guy. We did an S5 tracker and a ghost alarm at the same time combined. I can't remember which one cost what. I want to say one was 500 and one was 350. Together, 850 quid. I now get a notification every time the battery's disconnected, every time it's started, so no funny business can happen. I can obviously live track the van, and I've got a ghost alarm, which I thought was going to be a nightmare because this thing brings up enough information every time you fire it up. On a normal day, you haven't got your seatbelt on. It's like, yeah, I know, I've only just put the thing on. Would you like to leave it in sport mode? You never got time to even say yes before that disappears. It comes up with all these notifications. I'm not going to lie to you. It bogs you down with electronic information. I did not want, if I'm honest, to have to do an Ardioken as well as answer all of the other things every time I want it to get started. But I don't have to. If I've got this in my pocket because it's got the app on it, the car knows that I'm the correct driver, and you'll get your two indicators go click, 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 and you're good to go. So even though it's got a ghost alarm, I sometimes forget, because as long as this is in my pocket, we're good to go. But if you want an alarm, a tracker, and you're in the Northwest, do check out Trilogy. He doesn't know I'm doing this. It wasn't a freebie or anything like that. He doesn't do any social media, but he is so knowledgeable. He also found me an ignition live by tracking it right back to the fuse board, which is in the glove box facing the other way. Absolute nightmare. What a gentleman. So if you want some advice on trackers, which for a vehicle of this value, some insurance companies will state that you have to have, what a guy. Go check him out. I'll put It probably end up just being his phone number, if I'm honest, in the description. Does the tyre table fit with big wheels and tyres in the new arch of the new Transporter? Of course it does, never in doubt. As of now, November 2025, I have some in stock. A new batch has landed. Be quick if you want one for Christmas, because there will not be another batch now until January. And with the way things are going, looks like everyone that earns more than £5 a week is gonna have to go VAT registered. So if you've been holding off, I'm sorry to say, now's probably your time. Not a single person noticed that my new custom wheels have 2 valve stems, apart from Andy at Ape Adventure Vans, who mentioned it in the comments, but it was in fact his idea. When I say it was his idea, I don't mean like it was his invention, like he was the first person to think of it. What I mean is it was his idea for me to do so. When I told Andy that I was having custom wheels made for the new Transporter, the first thing he said to me is, do you think you'll have dual valve stems? Dual valve stems, why would I do that? Well, there's actually a very, very good reason why I've done that. Most modern vehicles nowadays come with tyre pressure monitor sensors. Those words could be in any order. There's a little computer gizmo on the back of the standard valve stem that talks to the dashboard and tells your vehicle what the pressure is in each tyre at any given time. I wanted to leave that part of it totally unmolested, but I also then wanted the ability to do a quick deflate. A quick deflation valve stem literally goes in place of your existing valve stem and gives you the ability to just deflate as quick as you can, nice and easy, limited amount of tooling. I like that idea. It is a little bit over the top, don't get me wrong. I'm probably going to air down in this 3, maybe 4 times a year. But if you're having your own custom wheel made, why wouldn't I do this? It's just another cool thing. Andy planted the seed, I looked into it, I loved the idea, and then I reached out to Rich from Bug Out Vehicles. He is my off-road 4x4 overland guru. I said to him, is this a stupid idea? Are people just gonna rib me for having 2 valve stems, one being a quick deflate and one being the factory? He literally said to me, my G-Shock watch allows me to swim to depths of 300 meters. Think about that. What a perfect analogy. And so here we are. My custom wheel has 2 valve stems, and you might be sat there thinking, well, those valve stems look exactly the same. One is definitely a tyre pressure monitor sensor, and the other one is just a 90p special, and that is because I'm still waiting for them on the longboat from America, so it seems. Let's move on to what these little things are. You'll notice on every door, including the tailgate, I've got one of these little blocks, let's call them. They are Vanguardians. You probably have seen these on other people's channels and things like that, but I wanted to just share with you because a lot of people are saying, what are those little things on your van? You haven't mentioned them. Probably a little bit curious because they are the same color. Now, I did start by attempting to wrap these because installation on these is basically dismantle it, you pull out this little bit of plastic so the battery becomes live, put it back together, peel off some 3M tape, clean the area, stick it on, click the cover on, and you are done. Warning, in about 30 seconds time, I'm gonna press the button and it's gonna make loads of noise. If you've got headphones on, be ready, or skip to the next chapter. Don't do that because I need the attention. But be warned, I am warning you now of loud noises coming. Grab your remote if you're watching it on the TV. So I attempted to wrap these initially and they looked good for about 5 minutes and it started shrinking, and I'm no wrapper of any sort. So I then peeled the wrap off, scratched them up, and I got a color match paint. Well, you can see it matches. It's matte in the exact same color. I went to a car place and they scanned it. Absolutely fantastic. And it was straight to plastic. The paint is straight to plastic, and I think they look as good as they're ever going to. I don't mind the bulky add-on thing. It's just another, what's that kind of, I like to inspire curiosity. It's an alarm system. It's not going to stop someone breaking into your van, but it is going to make so much noise that they might run away. Deadlocks are great, don't get me wrong. I mean, they don't look great. If a car thief wants to get in, regardless of deadlocks, he will get in. And that's the problem. I almost don't want to make it any more secure because all they do is cause more damage. You're only ever a pane of glass on a camper away from someone getting in anyway. People do the deadlocks, and then all they do is carve your van open like it's a can of beans and make thousands and thousands of pounds worth of damage. Ready for the noise? All we need to do on this is arm it, and that's all 4 of them armed. I've got 1 on every opening door. There we go. You can set the sensitivity levels. I haven't done that yet. You can make it so you literally touch the van and it goes off. If someone was to attempt to tamper with your van, it does that. A couple of seconds, that's a go away. That's a, I've got something on here, mate, just do one, yeah? If they go again, it continues to go off. Once again, it's just something that makes loads of noise to gather some attention from surrounding people. If you're at home, you know that something's happening. I don't want to fortify the van because all that really happens is they just damage more of it trying to get in anyway. So that is the Vanguardian kit from Adventure Van Life. Good bit of kit, considering there is no cables. There's no installation at all. You basically peel off a sticker, slam it on the van and press a button and you've got yourself a lovely little deterrent. Last week I showed you this. This is the Wingman awning mounted using a crock hinge. And I stressed in that video how easy it was. Basically 4 bolts and you are good to go. Then it dawned on me, if it's that easy to install, would it be that easy for some scrote to come along and uninstall? And yes, it would, because I've seen it. There are a few people I know in the groups that have had tent boxes and things like that actually uninstalled, let's call it, in the night, unknowingly, and they've come out to just see a gaping hole in their van. And that's where these cheeky little anti-vandal nuts come into it. Remember the intro when I showed you this? Well, that is the special tool you would use to install it. I am totally aware that I am now giving said tea leaf the information he needs to come along and steal it. But I am merely suggesting that this is, once again, another deterrent. I don't think that a hard-earned thief that takes pride in his trade and invests in his trade would be stumped by an anti-vandal nut that is available on Amazon. But I'm saying it would in fact slow down just your average opportunist thief. You get the tool and line it up, and you use a 17mm socket to send that home. Now I have used a little bit of Loctite just for belt and braces, and that's done. What I don't know is if the pitch of those males, those little stems, I don't know if they're different from a set that I bought yesterday and a set that you might buy tomorrow. But what I will say is they're not equal. So at first I actually thought that my tool didn't match my nuts, but it will only go on in one orientation. The others don't line up, so there is a difference in the pitch on mine alone. Whether or not your tool matches mine, I don't know, but it's got to help, right? Now then, people seem to complain in the comments on this channel what I spend my money on. So now is probably a great time to tell you that 4 of those nuts and the tool are about 19 quid, I believe, on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description below. That is quite a lot of money for 4 nuts, don't get me wrong. But think of the saving it could hypothetically make you if someone doesn't steal your £850 awning. I have a set of lights going on the front of here, probably going to fuel that fire a little bit more. Collectively, I think I have about £2,400 worth of lights going on there. No sponsorship, nothing like that, not freebies. I paid for it. I am going to protect that as much as possible because there are people in the world that for the sake of taking a few nuts out would like to make a score on something like that. So £19 for 4 nuts seems expensive, but if that potentially protects up to £4,000 worth of items, £850 for that, 2.5 for the light bar, some spotties on the front, anything else, even your Starlink. Someone put in a Facebook comment the other day that they thought that their solar panel got stolen. I believe it actually flew off on the motorway looking at the brackets, but that's the kind of world we live in. People just want to take your stuff. So anti-vandal nuts could save you a lot of money. People quizzing me on the layout. What do I see myself doing with the layout? I have a plan. Never seen it before. I know I said that about the last van. It's a kind of twist on the layout of the last van. This Moby frame bed is being changed. Remember I made a video regarding the floor and the seat bed from Moby frame through Camper Warehouse? Well, guess who else saw it? Moby frame. And then they listened when I said that Volkswagen messed up the upholstery that I was supposed to have, or that was the upholstery I was supposed to have, but they informed me I was getting something different, so I ordered one in a different upholstery and then had to cancel it. And then because I really needed a seat to be able to travel with the family, I had to go for a standard seat. They've seen that and they want to help out. They've said they're going to build me one in the correct upholstery. And now that I've had the van and I've measured the van, I've decided to go for the next size up. So we have gone to a 3-seater. So I have a new SA42 coming from Moby frame in the correct upholstery, which is a 3-seater. Thank you so much. Cannot express enough how miffed off I was when Volkswagen made that mistake and I had to have a dissimilar upholstery to the back. But I have a plan. I've picked up lots of stuff from Transport HQ, which is top secret at the moment. They have so much cool stuff coming for this. It's absolutely unbelievable. These are the future. I know people don't want to believe it. You don't want to believe it. Thank you once again for watching. Please do consider subscribing, hitting the like, hitting the hype, and I'll see you next Tuesday.